Sun Tzu in The Art of War. That's the way most people say it. I'm sure it's Sun Tzu. However, I'm not going to play that game. I'm not going to befuddle the situation. This is a very simple thing I'm talking about here. He says, take the easy victories. You see somebody's weak, you go after them, and you can be assured victory. Take many easy victories, and word will get out, not about how easy the fight was, how much of a bully you were, basically, but how victorious you are. Word will get out, and that alone will give you respect. It's kind of based on a lie, but it's strategy. That poor guy has been doing this his whole life. He attacks like somebody that told him to paint the drywall, golf course, hotel, with the paint that it takes to do it. He says, nah, I want the cheap stuff. And he's like, well, it's not gonna fucking last. And he's like, well, give me the cheap stuff. And so the guy's, all right, you're the boss. And his guys, they paint this fucking thing up with the cheap paint. And with a short period of time, relatively speaking, it starts coming off the walls. And that poor guy's like, what the fuck? And he says, I'm not paying you. So he has to go to court. This poor guy, this little guy. That poor guy is forcing this little guy who's just a fucking regular business guy like the rest of us. Isn't it nice to hear somebody that talks like us when they say, fuck you, you're screwed? He talks just like us. Just like we would to the fucking neighbor if we didn't like the neighbor and we were tougher and had more fucking resources at hand. He talks just like us. So this little guy, he's fighting and fighting and fighting in court to get his money paid. Which I think if I remember it correctly, from the reading, he went out of business over the damn thing. So that poor guy has been living on easy victories his whole life. He's going against people. What's his strategy? Deny, 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 and appeal. That's what he does. And he drags these things out so long. You see it happening. You see his strategy. He's in the wrong fucking war to be using this strategy. He uses this strategy against the little guys, the guys like us. And pretty soon, we can't afford lawyers anymore. We have to just fucking give up and go out of business because this big job, we put all this fucking money out of our own capital into it, and the guy doesn't want to pay. So he's won many, many small victories through the years, and it gives him credence. He's like, what? I don't know. They tried me, but they never got anything out of me. And I'm like, wow, that's how it works. And so he's fucking habituated into this. This is his tactic. Works every time. Except now, he's against we the people. Whether we the people want to be or not, our taxpayer money goes into supporting the Department of Justice. And they've got as much money as they want. This whole deny, deny, deny appeal thing isn't going to bankrupt us because he's such a minute part of the money that this nation has to fucking put somebody down that's trying to take its money. This nation likes its money. It's capitalist. This nation, this bloodless entity, as I call it, because the government, it's not just one person. It's a fucking whole mindset. It's an entity. It's a huge entity versus this little guy, that poor guy. He's become the little guy now. He thinks he's got more money than everybody else. He doesn't have more money than this bloodless entity. And this thing will just fucking eat him alive. Why? What is the spirit of the government? To kill, to kill, to kill, Drill Sergeant. What does this bloodless entity need? Blood, blood, blood. This poor guy, that poor guy, he's got himself into something that he doesn't know how to deal with. He should have shut the fuck up when he saw something that wasn't easily a small victory. He should just go back to selling houses